Good
Good,
morning, Empress T. Good morning. Welcome.
good morning, Rula. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. First of all, I don't know if you celebrate um, Thanksgiving, but how was your day yesterday? Let me put it that way.
The day was good, and what we celebrate is giving thanks.
Giving thanks.
And so we're not concentrating on the pilgrim thing. We all know the fallacy behind it, but we use it more as a day of family. Most
Right.
people are off on that day, so we just take advantage of that and an opportunity to come together and acknowledge out loud sometimes what we are thankful for.
Great, great, great. And, you're right. Many of us, I referred to me going down to Jose Fideonga yesterday, and there are people on the streets, out in the cold, have nowhere to live. And once in a while, as a matter of fact, there outside they have these huge trucks that they set up for people to come and take a shower. Some people don't even have a place to take a shower. So you are very right. We have to be thankful. And for me, every day is Christmas for me. Every day is Thanksgiving for me. I give thanks every day, providing
Exactly.
I'm healthy.
Even if you're not healthy, providing you're alive, because once you're
True.
alive, you can get back to healthy.
That is
And
absolute.
that's what we're going to talk about today.
All right, well, take it away. Take it away. Tie in what you spoke about last week with spirituality with where you're gonna go today. And ladies and gentlemen, Empress T, higher frequency. Go ahead, Empress.
Okay, just to recap, last week we spoke a little bit briefly about spirituality and the need to connect and how it's basically a grounding of oneself. If we were to see ourselves as live wires, a live wire can be reckless and potentially dangerous. So we have to ground ourselves in a lot of ways, and one way is through our body. And so what I wanted to cover today was just a couple of things that we can be mindful of. I'm not going to be able to go into detail because of the time, but it's really just to prompt you to look up things for yourself and, like I said, be more mindful of your body and the signals and the messages that it gives you. Let me see. Okay, I just wanted to start with that there are 12 systems in the body, just for those who don't know. There are 12 different systems in the body, but the ancient Chinese believe that there is also a energy system. And along with all the other systems in our body, the energy has to be flowing well, just like the other systems. If everything is not in balance, there's where you have diseases and sicknesses and all things like that. So the goal is to keep your body in balance. We'll talk a little bit about alkalinity too. But in the past, when we had our meals, they weren't all refined and processed foods. We were eating foods that were real, that were whole. Fruits, lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. My sister and I were talking on the phone the other day and saying how our mom used to make our snacks from scratch. We didn't get popcorn in a bag. She put some kernels in the pan and threw some oil in there and poof, popcorn. We didn't have all the processed salts and all the flavoring and all that stuff. It was simple,
Yeah.
healthy, natural popcorn. Fruit. If we wanted a milkshake, she went and, cut up some mango and threw it in the blender. You know what I'm saying? That's what we had, shakes like that. We didn't do fast food. But now with the shift to fast food and instant foods that people can cook home without really cooking them, just in the microwave, it introduces a lot of chemicals into our system.
Right.
So that we're no longer eating naturally, we're just eating, and it's not for health. A lot of the foods, are processed with preservatives. That MSG is no good. Soy is good for some people. Everybody can't tolerate soy. And a lot of people don't even know that they can't tolerate soy because they have symptoms that they're not equating to a soy reaction.
Right. Right.
And so there's where you have a lot of asthma attacks. You have people having asthma attacks and they don't really have any other triggers, but it's in the food sometimes. MSG is a big trigger of illnesses in the foods. Also, what we need to do. So what I wanted to say about that was in the past that the foods were really wholesome, and that's what we need to get back to. Most of the audience here, I believe, are Caribs. So, like like you, when I was younger, we had a different diet. We didn't have the diet that these children have today. We didn't have fast food. We didn't have all that. We ate very healthy. We had lots of veggies, lots of fruits. We hardly ate meat because if you remember, meat at that time was like a special family thing. Sunday dinner, that's when you had a big meat.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really eat meat like now. We eat and consume so much red meat, and it's not good. It's not healthy for you.
No. Well, continue with the presentation. I'll just inject some questions after all. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so the goal is to get our diets back to what they used to be before processed food. I realize that it's more expensive to eat healthier, but if we shift the demand and start consuming more fresh produce, then they're going to have to supply more. But what we have to do is cut out the refined processed foods, soda, things like that. Those are big culprits in the health of Americans today, also in obesity. Did you want to say anything, Rula?
No. I know you're on a flow there, so I don't want to really interrupt because I know you've spent some time putting this together like a lecture series. And one of the questions that comes to mind, though, do you think the advent of the whole time has changed? Far more people, their mom and dad has to work, so you find that. Back in the days, my days and earlier and others, the dad was out there working, mom was at home preparing all those good meals. Nowadays, the mom has to go out and work. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
It does and it doesn't, because still, I grew up in a Caribbean family. Mom had to go to work, dad had to go to work. So while we were getting dressed in the morning, mom was downstairs seasoning the food for tonight and cooking us a bowl of oatmeal.
That is true, but for the most part, a lot of families don't have it that way.
Because they think they don't have the time, and the reality is that it takes the same amount of time to fix an unhealthy breakfast that it does to fix a healthy breakfast. You just have to prepare beforehand. I mean, you can have your kids cut up their fruit the night before. You have to involve it. It has to be a family affair. It can no longer be the mom is responsible for this and the dad is. It's a family affair. The children at home, they need to be involved too because it's their food too. You have them get engaged in a practice of eating healthy, and whether it's all together, they need to eat healthy. If everybody is involved, it'll work.
That is true. One of the statement you made earlier, that to eat healthy, generally it's a little more expensive. To buy these organic foods or buy certain special foods, it's a little expensive. A lot of Americans are below the poverty level and just can't afford it. What would you say to those persons?
What I say to those is that you don't have to buy the organic or shall I call them designer vegetables.
Designer products. Okay.
Those are designer things. It's no more organic than anything else we're buying. And we don't know because we don't know where it really comes from.
Yep.
But we can use a lot of old ways. Carrots still don't cost a lot. Potatoes still don't cost a lot. You know what I'm saying? Basic things that provide a lot of nutrients and are simple to cook. I mean, how long does it take to bake a potato or to boil a potato, mash it up? Teach your kids. Teach them.
But with the potato now, isn't there a point where after a while the amount of carbohydrates in there can be detrimental at some point?
Exactly. So again, the
balance. You talk about balance.
Is balance and moderation with everything.
Okay.
Balance and moderation. I think that families can do it. It's going to take a little shift, but it's a shift that in the long run is going to pay off. I mean, my kids grew up on hot cereal. I grew up on hot cereal. I love porridge, and they would rather. I can tell you a time where I bought all instant hot cereals, and they're like, "What is this? This doesn't taste like." I won't eat it.
That is true. All right, well, continue your presentation. Go ahead.
So, along with with being mindful of the foods that we eat, it may seem like it's expensive, and it's going to be a shift because you're used to getting different food, but in the long run, you'll see that you actually spend less and you feel better. And what price is on that to feel better? You know, and to be healthy and be functioning. So just try it out. If you can just try it out, you'll see it's really not that hard. I mean, things like spinach, things like lettuce, cabbage, those are easy things to get, and they really don't cost that much. Brown rice, you know, for example, and then water. If you're drinking enough water, you have to stay hydrated along with eating well so that you can eliminate properly. You know, there's a lot involved, and a lot of people are sick nowadays because these added chemicals and preservatives add carcinogens to the body. The bodies are not able to eliminate properly. You have people being obese. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Talk about this. Diabetes. Diabetes is one of the biggest killer, not only in America, but throughout the world. And I'm looking at a chart here that talks about foods to help fight diabetes. And I'm going to just run through the ones I see in the chart and just talk about them and how it ties in with what you're talking about. Green juice, avocado sprouts salad, raw zucchini noodles with tomato sauce, guacamoles, kale salad, barley grass. When people hear about some of them things, people really don't even know about some of these things. So,
and most of us really do know about the things. But what happens is when they get to this country, they tend to put all that in the bag, and they want the quick, easy food. All those things that you said, those are all fresh vegetables, and the reason why they're important is because they keep the body alkaline, and so what you need is, like I said, a balance. Everything has to be in balance. Those foods are highly rich and keep your body alkaline, and that's what's important. When you're too acidic with all that salt and all that sugar and all the processed stuff that goes into the fast foods, it throws the shift of the body off. And when your body is off, then you get heart issues, you get respiratory issues, you get eyesight. Also, there's dental issues. A lot of the foods, corrode your teeth.
Very true, very true.
And rob your body of calcium. And then what happens with that, once you have poor dental health, everything is lost.
Yeah.
Because
your heart.
your teeth are connected directly, according to the ancient Chinese, to different points in your body.
Right.
So that, if you check on you can go look up a meridian for a tooth meridian. They're called tooth meridians. And basically what it is it's a map that shows each tooth in your mouth and what body part it's connected to. So that if you have a problem with a particular tooth, you may also have a problem in that particular body area. Or you may have a problem in that particular body area and we'll be able to link it to a tooth, and maybe that tooth needs some help. So, so there's all of that too. But with the dental hygiene, what I wanted to talk about really is that is one of the biggest health culprits. That leads to all kinds of issues in the body, heart issues especially. It can ricochet off of diabetes as well. It weakens the bones. It really does a lot. It robs you a lot. And so what you want to do is keep your mouth as clean as possible. I myself, I don't even use toothpaste. And my teeth are beautiful. My breath is fresh. And I'm going to tell you what I use. I use baking soda, and I rinse with salt water, sea salt water.
Yes,
I make a salt rinse every day, and after I eat, I rinse with salt water. And if there's any particles, I brush them out. And then at the end of the day, I floss my teeth, because that's what's important. It's the plaque that builds up, and it takes about 9 hours for that plaque to turn into hard tartar. So you don't want to just keep your gums clean and your mouth clean.
As a matter of fact, Empress, I'm looking at another chart here that says somebody who, just like you, they say for the toothpaste, they don't use toothpaste. And you know what they mix, their formula? 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, 3 tablespoons of baking soda.
Yeah, and tea tree oil sometimes.
Yes, 25 drops of peppermint oil, 1 packet of stevia, and 2 teaspoons of vegetable glycerine. Mash together baking soda and coconut oil. Mix in all other ingredients to form a paste and store in a jar and dip your brush in there and away you go, looking bright
Yeah,
and
and
shiny.
even if you don't have all of that, because somebody is not going to have all of those ingredients, just to let you know how basic it is, you can brush your teeth with sea salt. You don't need all the fluoride and the chemicals in toothpaste. And the proof is that back in the day, they didn't even have all that stuff. Fluoride is another culprit to a lot of diseases in the body. So if you can make your own natural things, that is the way to go. It doesn't even have to have those many ingredients. The point is to eliminate the chemicals that you're ingesting, that you're putting in your body and on your teeth. Fluoride actually demineralizes your teeth and softens them. People think it fortifies them, but it really doesn't. And, these are all things you can go look up. And not only does it not fortify your teeth, it also calcifies your pineal gland, which we'll talk about a little later, so that, you have to, everything ties in. You've got to be more conscious. That's the key. That's the key.
Before you go on, though, I want to bring up something because I still have never been able to understand it. Chemistry is what I usually love in school and so forth. Apple cider vinegar is acidic, right? It's acidic.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you talk earlier about neutralizing alkalinity in your body.
Yes.
Why then they say that apple cider vinegar is so powerful for one's health? And before you give me explanation, let me just run through some of the things they say, and I know you'll be able to expound on it. They say it prevents flu and stomach illness, dissolves kidney stones, helps reduce and prevent acne, regulates pH balance in the body, helps relieve nausea, helps relieve heartburn and chronic acid reflux, helps relieve asthmatic situations, helps relieve allergies, helps relieve gout, help relieve migraine, and so on, 20 of them. So help me understand then, why then apple cider, which is this powerful stuff, wouldn't it add to the acidity in one's body?
Well, you would think so, and here's the thing. You're not going to be drinking apple cider vinegar the way that you drink water. So again, it's in moderation, and it's more symptom used than anything. So whereas if you're having some intestinal problems, the reason why it works so well is because it cleans out your intestines. It works with, and it detoxes your system from that level. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people are sick not because they're sick or they caught anything, it's because the stuff is stuck in their body. Mm-hmm. And the toxins, they start to backfire. They give off fumes. You can't smell it sometimes, but you ever been around a smelly person? Mm-hmm. And it's oozing out of their pores?
Right.
That's someone that could benefit from apple cider vinegar, because what the vinegar will do is go down and it kind of strips the intestines and starts loosening up that fecal matter and pushing it out and clearing it out. And as your intestines get clear, your system gets clear, and then all the other systems start to work better. Your skin, your acne, that has to do with your pores. Everything is tied together, which was the very first thing that I said. Now, the reason why it's not going to be so acidic is because, like I said, you're not going to drink it every day like that. There are some people who believe that if you drink a teaspoon with a glass of water every day, you will keep your system in good repair.
Right.
But remember, it's a teaspoon. We're not talking about a cup full.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that too. I've heard quite interesting.
And also, lemon juice works almost in the same way. Like if you squeeze a lemon in a glass of water and drink that too, it will help with all of those issues. And it's not magic, so you don't drink it one day and say, "Oh, this thing didn't work." The next day you have to give it time. Your body took time to get in the condition that it's in,
so
and it's going to take some time to undo.
Well, one of the things I've been doing recently is lemon, turmeric, and moringa in the morning, and it's one of the best tasting things you could ever have. I mix up 3 of them. I have water, lemon juice, some turmeric, which is the turmeric tea, and moringa. And make that simmer, and believe me, when you drink it, it's as if you said, wow. So my question...
Yeah, that helps with the blood. That keeps your blood level balanced. The turmeric is good for that.
And for inflammation, I understand turmeric helps with inflammation within the one's body, isn't it?
With you said with inflammation, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
With inflammation as well. Something else that's good for inflammation and like digestive issues is aloe.
Aloe.
Aloe is a good thing to drink. Water. I know one day you had mentioned that you had 4 bottles of water. That's too many. If you find that you're dehydrated, you still have to space it out. You can you can dilute your system and have other issues. You can deplete yourself of your electrolytes and then have other issues more than dehydration. So everything has to be in moderation, and everything has to be balanced as much as possible. You say, how do I know it's balanced? You'll know because you'll start to feel better. You'll feel better. Drink water, get sunlight. Lots of people don't get sunlight. If you just stay outside for 20 minutes, that provides your body with a valuable source of vitamin D, which vitamin D is needed for everything, for your bones, your teeth, your brain, everything.
I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a finding that says many black people, they have vitamin D deficiency for some of the same reasons that you're mentioning, and vitamin D is one of the most important ingredients in one's body. And if that goes down, one's prostate levels could go off hand. The way they feel could go off hand. So like you said, 20 minutes in the sun is very critical to really...
Yes, every day. And I mean, some people don't like to be out in the sun. Okay, you're not getting a tan. You're absorbing some sun rays. Go out there, and I throw my hands up. I have my little daycare kids do it too. We call it talking, and getting some sun rays, and we put our hands up to the sun, and we smile, and we spin in a circle, and we just be silly with it, but they're getting sun. And fresh air. That's another key ingredient. At night, people like to close up all their windows and have the heat cranked up. No. Your body gives off carbon monoxide. The gas heat, most people have gas heat, carbon monoxide. You want to open a window, open it at the top if you don't want it on your head directly. Open a window at the top, turn off that gas. If you need extra heat, get you a little space heater that doesn't give off any gas. And keep your room fresh as possible. Try to get as much fresh air. People that work in offices, when it's lunchtime, leave your office. Leave the building. Go sit outside for the half hour, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, and breathe the fresh air. Give your body a chance to breathe in fresh air. People who work in buildings, people who stay in their homes, they're not breathing fresh air. That air is being recirculated. If there's bacteria in it, you're just breathing it back in and breathing it back out. You have to introduce fresh air into your system.
Well, look, I'm always in my house. I very rarely go outside. I'm going to have to probably bore a hole in the top of my house and pipe down some sunlight.
You can open a window ruler and stick your head out and take 5 deep breaths. Even that is a start.
Yeah, well, I'm just kidding because I have a door in my basement that is at street level. I usually go out there once in a while, and sometimes I'm on the phone. I just go there and stand out there, talk for 5-10 minutes. And that definitely helps. But it is very important, though, that we all do get a chance to go out in the sun and get some sunlight. Now, if you don't have sufficient vitamin D from the sun, how about the supplements that they recommend? Vitamin D supplements.
Yeah, you can use vitamin D supplements, and you can also just eat better. There's lots of different ways to do it, but the point is to be mindful that when you're not feeling well, it's because something is out of balance. You know what I'm saying? And there's things that you can do right away that will help you feel better right away. The first thing is to hydrate. How many times do you feel your lips are dry and cracked? People say, oh, I need chapstick. No, you need hydration because by the time it gets to your lips, the inside must have been wet. And that's something that people don't think about. They reach for the chapstick when they should be reaching for something to drink. Coconut water is a good hydrator. Coconut water, aloe, apple juice, water. You don't always have to drink water. Some people don't like water. I don't know why, but some people don't like water.
I think
so there's other things.
The water has that bland doesn't have any teeth. So they have waters that they tip a little bit of grape flavoring in or something to give
Squeeze
you
some lemon in there if you need
lemon.
flavor.
Right, lemon. Yeah, yeah. So seltzer water is seltzer water a good
To me, I don't know. I didn't read anything on it directly, but to me, I would stay away from any carbonated things. Just because the carbonation can't be good. It can't be good for your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would have to look it up and see. But, I mean, water is the best water. If you can have, just plain filtered water, charcoal filtered water. You have to even be careful with that. Don't drink, don't drink from the tap. A lot of the water from the tap is heavily chlorinated and heavily fluorinated.
But if
that means,
but if you filter that, what's the problem there if you filter it? Would not be recommended?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
it's not recommended because they can't make money off it.
let me ask you this one, because it's you hear diverging inputs on that one. Bottled water, having the water, the 16-ounce bottled water that you buy from the stores, drinking it at home at room temperature. What's your impression on that situation?
Well, from what I understand, the plastic of the bottles give off carcinogens.
Right.
So you don't know how long that water's been sitting in the bottle. The best thing, if you can, is to get they say to store your water, first of all, in a glass.
Right.
Because it's not going to leach into the water. Mm-hmm. And to use a charcoal filter. From what I understand, charcoal filter is just about all you need. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you can drink it at room temperature, but be careful with those bottles. A lot of those bottles are filled with chemicals. It takes a lot of chemicals to get them clear, to shape them, to melt them, to reuse them, because a lot of them are recycled and things like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's not to deter you from drinking water, because you can only buy bottled water in a bottle, but they have other little containers that have little self-filters. There's things that, take a look, invest some time and a little bit of money just so that you can have quality water, because that's important.
I hear someone say they go out and buy alkaline water in the stores.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of alkaline water? Interesting. Wow. All right, want to welcome Chan and Nicole. We have another 2 minutes to 11, winding down the presentation. In the chat room, big love to the Deuce, Empress T, Jose to James, Liebach, Royal, SAA, David, Oxdale, Tyson, guest 4797, guest 9153, guest 6574, guest 5351, guest 9144, guest 6254, guest 6277 in the Ruler Brown Network chat room, and on Mighty Radio over there in England. A number of people in the chat room. Let me give you another 3 minutes to wrap it up, summarize the presentation, and if you have more to add, just go ahead and add what you have to add, and then tie in what you've presented over the last couple of weeks with what you may present next week. Go ahead.
Okay. So again, the main thing is to understand that your body needs to be in balance, that there are about 12, 13 different systems at work there. So think of them like gears upon gears upon gears. So if one gear is out of whack, everything else is going to be out of whack too. They might still turn and spin, but they're going to be out of whack. And that's usually what happens. And it usually starts with something minor and just increases into something major. And so it's very important to be in tune with your body. When you wake up, you take a moment and see how you feel. Stretch yourself. I wanted to get into yoga and stuff. I didn't really get a chance to. But it's important when you wake up, if you can't do a whole yoga routine, stretch your left arm, stretch your right arm, stretch every point in your body, and then do it backwards, reverse it. So that if you bend forward, then bend back. If you stretch to the right, stretch to the left. Do it in balance so that you get that energy flowing through your body as well. Lots of times people just get up, they go in the bathroom, they brush their teeth, they get dressed, they didn't stretch their body. You've been sleeping 8 or 9 hours.
All right, listen.
And sleep is also another thing I didn't mention, but we need at least 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep so that your body can regenerate and refuel itself. The water, we said, in moderation. You don't have to, they say 8 bottles of water. You don't have to drink it all at once. Space it out. It can be intermixed with juice and coconut water, other things that provide hydration. Sunlight provides you with vitamin D, and it also makes you feel better, spiritually.
I know you just use the term 8 bottles, but I've heard, and I don't know which is right, that it's more of a formula. Depending on your weight,
Exactly.
you divide 16 ounces into that, and then it will give you the amount of bottles of water.
Well, I would say the formula to use is your own body. You'll know when you're hydrated. When you're hydrated, your elimination system is going to work, your digestive system is going to work, your skin is going to be clear, your lips won't be dry. That's the first key. How do your lips feel?
I see. Once a good also to Oxtail in the chat room, and I tell you, a lot of people are here. Okay.
And I see that SWA, who is it who else said baking soda? Yes, baking soda, apple cider vinegar is also good for under your arms as well. It doesn't, it's not an antiperspirant, but it does stop any odor because it kills the bacteria. And I remember as children too, when we were younger, too young for deodorant, we were made to use apple cider vinegar because we were told you're too young for deodorant. That's not for your skin. And those same principles apply now because we put so many chemicals on our skin. Lotions, I don't use lotion. I use natural oils, coconut oil, olive oil on my hair, on my skin. I haven't used chemicals in I don't know how long.
Let me ask you this. I'm not sure if you're willing to answer it or if it's fair. Would you call yourself a vegan?
No, I'm no longer a vegan.
Okay.
I raised my two oldest as vegans, and what happened was when they went to school, and as the economy and things changed, it became harder and harder to do it. I couldn't compete with the fancy-looking snacks that the kids were bringing at lunchtime. Although I tried, I would bake cakes and cinnamon and things like that. I had one child that wanted to try every and anything, and the other one that was like, I'm telling. But it was good. I felt healthier, and I would love to get back to that. And that is my goal. So, part of higher frequency is for all of us to join that journey together. It's healthier. It's so much healthier.
But let me ask you this though: is there some drawback because there's certain ingredients that you need in your body to provide that full balance that you talk about? So is there certain deficiencies that could develop over a period of time if you don't have certain proteins in your body?
Well, yeah, so that's why you want to create a balanced diet for yourself. You want to look up things. Like I said, these things are to prompt you to look up things for yourself. You want to look up nuts and cashews. You want to look up what nutrients your body actually needs. And then look up what foods provide them. And then eat them.
Right.
They're never going to say Hamburger Helper. It's not going to say McDonald's. It's not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to give you some real concise, some real concrete foods that you can eat that will help you. And you can also troubleshoot yourself. If you're feeling a little bad, look it up. Natural cures. Look it up. Natural remedies, not medicine, not doctor, not what's wrong with me. How do I naturally cure blah, blah, blah.
Right. Hey, good input.
And most of the time it's going to be garlic, ginger, aloe, baking soda, apple cider vinegar. Those are the things that they're going to tell you to use. Tea tree oil. It's always going to be something natural.
So tea tree oil, you can take tea tree oil orally. Is that true?
Well, here's the thing with tea tree oil. You don't want to swallow it because it's really, really concentrated and really potent, and it can cause intestinal issues. Because it's really potent.
Right.
So, like, let's say some people have gum receding. Because, when you get in your 40s and stuff, your gum starts to recede.
Right.
That's what they tell you, but that's not really true.
Right.
That comes from not cleaning your mouth properly. That's an increase of bacteria in your mouth. If you do a saltwater rinse, and this is something I can guarantee, if you do a saltwater rinse 3 times a day and apply tea tree oil with a Q-tip just on the base of your gums, not soak it, like just tap it along the base of your gums. If you do that for a week, you will see the new gum tissue grow back.
No,
but you don't want to put so much that you swallow it. You just want to, just coated. It helps fight back some of the bacteria, the bad bacteria.
Now, could you dilute the tea tree oil?
You definitely could dilute it. You can dilute it, like you can make a mouthwash with it. You can use baking soda, and this was the recipe that I thought you were going to give. You can just use baking soda, a little sea salt, and maybe 1 or 2 drops of tea tree oil. But remember, I'm saying like 1 or 2 drops because it's really, really concentrated.
Right.
And then you can also use 1 or 2 drops of peppermint oil. Also careful because it's really concentrated. And then you have yourself a nice homemade mouthwash. You can also use golden seal. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying, I don't know if you eyed something Ruel entered earlier in the chat room. I was going to ask you to take the opportunity at this point to look through the chat room, see if you see any comments, questions, suggestions, and address those.
Librug, who says he tries to walk on his lunch tough at 30 degrees. Yeah, you have to be careful. Like, put a scarf on. You don't have to walk, but just breathe a little bit of fresh air. Within reason. Everything is in moderation.
No, let me ask you this. Most of us, many of us, especially old fogies like me, some of the bad habits we've developed over a long period of time. For me, like I said, maybe fuck me there, Jamaica. I leave Jamaica. I've been here 40 years. They say 40 years. You've developed bad habits, and it takes a while. It's setting in your system.
Yeah.
These things that you're talking about, how quickly can one see a difference or an impact?
I would say right away.
Really?
I would say right away with hydrating yourself. If you touch your lips and they're dry, and you set out for that day to be conscious of how much you're hydrating yourself, by the next day your lips have no choice but to feel better.
Yeah, but
when you wake up the next day, your skin is going to look better.
Yeah. So, but hydrating oneself, like you say, it's relative and all that stuff. So, isn't there more to it than just drinking the water?
Well, see, when you hydrate yourself, you are supplying your other body systems with important nutrients and hydration so that they can function too. So true, it's not just water, but that's one big issue. When you're dehydrated, you have insomnia. Lots of people can't sleep. They don't know why. See if you're dehydrated. Hydrate yourself.
Let me ask.
And insomnia leads to other issues because once you're not getting enough sleep, then your body starts to fail. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your body needs a certain amount of hours to really recoup and, revitalize
itself. You need the water. You need the sleep. Everything ties in together. And I think you see results, like I say, almost immediately. But the key is to do it.
All right. Let me ask you this. Many people, especially black people, suffers from diabetes, right? Struggling with diabetes issue. Can it be reversed without taking these medication from doctors?
Oh, I definitely believe so. One good remedy is the use of aloe, drinking aloe, because it helps balance your blood sugar too. So you would do things that would help balance your blood sugar. I definitely think you can. Apple cider vinegar. There's lots of things. I can't quote anything exactly. I can get you some stuff.
Right. But maybe next week, let's do this. Let's do this then. Maybe, and I know you have a series set up and a flow, but if you have even 5-10 minutes next week to insert something on that, because a lot of people would probably like to hear something along that line. So you can think about it if you find anything you want to insert regarding that particular topic. And then we can do that next week.
Okay. And also, like I said, look it up now with this, with the internet. I know it's difficult because you don't want to, you don't want to become a hypochondriac. And some information is fake and phony. But, you have 4, 5, 6 different sources. Check it. Does it make sense? Check with older people in your family. If you think that, when we were younger, people didn't have all this cancer that's going around now.
I agree with that. My understanding, the little that I know, that every single one of us has cancer cells in us. But what really elevates them are the stresses, the environmental situation, not eating correctly, not with that balanced diet.
Toxins.
Right. And then at some point, things start to raise up, and then it grows and grows to the point where it gets out of control, and next thing you know, boof,
Yeah, and if you notice on TV now, and there's every other commercial is about a medicine. They're not trying to do preventive anymore. They just want to cure because and they can't even cure it. They just want to medicate because that's where the money is. But we have to retrain ourselves to live preventive lives and do it. You know, the motivation is that, like I say, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better. I'm 50 years old. People never guess that. They would never figure that about me.
You look like about 22, don't it?
Okay. All right. And those are real. Those are not time-lapse pictures or anything like that. What you see on there is how I look.
Let me ask you this. Someone in the chat room, guest 7776, says, I am diabetic. I heard bitter really hide the sugar. And is this true? In other words, bitter ingredients hides the sugar. Is that true?
Well, like I said, I don't know specifically about diabetes, so I'm not going to answer that before I go and look it up.
Okay. All right, fine. Fair
okay.
Enough. So next
because
week,
I'm not a doctor and I don't want to mislead anyone, but I do know that there are roots and things that you can take to help regulate your blood sugar. Because if you think about it, back in the day, well, first of all, there weren't that many incidences of diabetes, but people weren't running to the doctor. They would go and get a root. They would get some mavi. They would get some sorrel, something from the bush, even if it was a bush tea, something natural.
Librock says we bought. Hey, I tell you, you're stirring a lot of questions. I know you were supposed to be doing this for 15 minutes, and you're almost 30 minutes over.
But, I'm sorry.
No. For me, it's fine. You know, I know it's your schedule. I'm more concerned about. I mean, the information.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm covered. And I see Librock say he bought
a cool vitamin,
a vitamin blender. Yes, smoothies, juicing is excellent. If you could just do your own juice, do it the night before. People concerned about they're not going to have time during the week. Well, on the weekend, juice up some stuff, freeze it up,
juice me up,
take it to work with you.
Well, this morning I got up and I said I was going to juice. I bought some celery, 2 huge, humongous stuff of celery. I was going to juice some celery, put some orange, some lemon in that, and something else. I forgot
some cashews in there too.
Cashew?
Yeah, cashews are so healthy for you. I love cashews.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute, man. Don't want to say no more. Look, Empress, I swear cashew is what's going to take me out. I swear cashew is what's going to take me out. I eat an average of 3 packs or tins, maybe 4 tins of cashew a week. And I asked my doctor, is that too much? He said, no, just mix some almond in there. I mix some.
Yeah, almonds are good too. I just don't like them on my teeth. I don't like how they go down, but almonds are good. Cashews are good. Peanuts, they're okay. Peanuts are good too, but it's a little boring. I think raisins are good. Raisins with the nuts are good. Nuts are always good.
But the raisins though, but
the thing with cashews though, you do have to be careful because they are rich in fat calories.
Right.
So you don't want to, moderation.
Yeah,
so that would be the only thing that I would think would be a danger with cashews, the weight.
Right. You said
walnuts are excellent. Yes. All nuts, really. Nuts provide you with so many nutrients and minerals for your body. They're really healthy for you.
Wow. Hey,
and it's fun. Aren't these foods good? Like when you think about them, they're fun food. I mean, they're quick. How long does it take to eat a salad? How long does it take to make a salad?
I hear you. I tell you, boy, you've provided so much information, and I tell you, persons all over the chat room over there in England, it's jammed up with a lot of people. And I want to big up to all the listeners over there on Mighty Radio, Vibes Urban Station, One Harmony Radio, and the various networks. Empress, you gonna have to come back not gonna have to. You have to come back next week. All right, so don't eat no cashew next week. I drink the tea or the water. But trust me, this is absolutely valuable information. And
I just want to say one other thing, Rula. Just if I could just squeeze this last thing in there about sleeping. When you sleep, be mindful of your bedding. The mattresses also have a lot of chemicals and carcinogens. So if you find that you're not sleeping well, it could be your bedding. Look for asthma covers. Look for any cotton liner or whatever it is, and try to sleep on cotton. Line your pillowcases. Those pillows have polyurethane. That foam stuff is not really good to breathe in consistently. So you want to, eliminate as much of breathing in those toxins as possible if you're having issues sleeping or when you wake up you don't feel well. And then the last thing I wanted to say was about also like shoes in the house. Mm-hmm. Lots of people think, it brings in bad energy. It does that too, but it also brings in a lot of lead and toxins from outside in the house, from outside in the street into your house. So you want to stop people's shoes at the door, especially if you have carpet.
Next week, next week I'm going to ask you to, I don't know if next week or the week after, this thing about feng shui. Am I pronouncing that right? Feng shui? Feng shui,
yes. I love all that. I'm going to get into all of it. The chakra meditation, the kundalini meditations, all of it. Yoga. Those are all things to help your body run and, run at its optimal peak and help with a lot of the illnesses that are going on. If we could just get the energy flowing right, a lot of the illnesses will correct themselves. Wow, I can't wait till next week, guys. Sorry, I went over.
No, you did not go over. I tell you, my concern has always been, I know you're busy there at work and you're taking time out of your schedule to present the information. So, look, you can take as long as you want. How about that? So next week?
Well, next week I'm going to present, like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about it today, but we did do the body. So I wanted to go into like meditation and yoga, other forms of getting the body systems to flow and balance and harmonious, and then a little bit about the pineal gland and how some foods that we eat calcify our hearts and things like that.
And let me say, listeners, if you have any questions that you'd like to put forth in advance, you can email me, rulerbrown.
Please.
rulerbrown@gmail.com. That's rulerbrown@gmail.com. And just say you want Empress T to address that in one of our upcoming shows.
Yes, I will have an answer about the bitters next week, okay?
All right, so wrap it up for me. No, just saying, just wrap it up for me.
Okay, so that was it. I just want people to be mindful of their bodies. Make sure you're getting a couple hours of sleep. Hydrate yourself. Sunlight, nutrients and minerals through vitamins if you have to, but preferably through healthy food, green, fresh fruits and vegetables, raisins, minutes like that, fresh air. And that's it. No soda. Don't drink any soda, whatever you do. Not diet, not any kind of soda. And that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. And next week, same time, folks, it's 10:30 Empress T. And if it's Empress T, it's higher frequency. Yeah. Big up. All right, we've recorded this, folks, and
blessings to each and every
one of you. You'll be able to check that later.
This is Empress T, hostess of the new talk show Higher Frequency, broadcasting live on the Ruler Brown Network. Join us this Friday as we engage in conversations designed to keep your mind, body, and soul on a higher frequency.